everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters, and this is our season finale as we wrap up 2019 in the world of professional wrestling. And joining me as always is Fro. How you doing, Fro?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
Very good. We got quite a lineup here this week because we have 3 shows, 3 pay-per-views that we're going to talk about.
And the finale of The Masked Singer.
Yes, we have that. Plus, we got a special tribute later on in the show, and you know, if you make it all the way to the end, there may be a little something extra for you. But let's begin with a weird piece of news that I'm not sure how many people are going to be talking about, but we're going to talk about it here. Tony Schiavone, who is currently a commentator for All Elite Wrestling and also has a podcast. He is good. He's a very good announcer. On his podcast this week, the discussion came up about him going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Because last week, you know, we talked about many different Hall of Fames, and we did mention the WWE Hall of Fame and how the NWO was getting inducted, being Hogan, Hall, Nash, and X-Pac, but not Eric Bischoff. So, when asked about, or when talking about, if he would want to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, he said that he has told his family under no circumstance is WWE allowed to induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And I'm actually going to pull up the quote so I can read this for everyone, because I think Tony Schiavone is a guy who is Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, this is what he said on his podcast this week, What Happened When. And I'm going to try to keep it a little bit clean because the F-bomb gets dropped here. Well, Eric got F'd over once by Vince this year. So why wouldn't Vince F him over again? You know what? That's effing fine with me. And I hope that I'm working with AEW until the day I die. Because once it's all over with, my family has been instructed. I've told you this, I think, on the air here before. My family has been instructed that if they want to induct me in any way post-mortem, the answer from the family is no. So don't expect from me to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. You know, now I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because Eric is not a part of the NWO into the Hall of Fame, and I'm pissed off because Eric got effed over by Vince McMahon. Not Bruce Pritchard, who's our friend, who's a good guy, straight up guy, but by Vince McMahon. You know, and everybody knows that Eric was brought in just so he could get fired, and that effing sucks. I know it, and I'll guarantee you that I'm right. And the fact he wasn't put in the NWO Hall of Fame, into the Hall of Fame with the NWO, confirms it. So, basically, the reason that Tony Schiavone does not want to go into the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, is not because of any hostilities, you know, of what WWE did to him. It's because WWE screwed with Eric Bischoff, is basically how I get it. And you know what? That's Tony's prerogative, and I'm fine with it. I've never had a problem with Tony Schiavone. I think he's a great commentator. I think he's very underrated. The only reason that he gets maybe not as much praise in a historical sense is because of what he was told to say on that episode of Nitro the night that Mick Foley won the WWE title, and that was not Tony's words, those were Eric's words. So do I think Tony Schiavone will get into a Hall of Fame in wrestling? Absolutely. Will it be WWE? No, it won't.
I find this interesting because I always thought that Eric Bischoff deserves a place in the WWE.
Oh, I think he does.
And I find it interesting when we think of the NWO that he is not inducted. I totally agree. He is screwed over.
Yeah, and this is with all due respect to X-Pac. I think they chose X-Pac because he's a company guy. They know he's going to stick with them. And again, it's nothing against him. I like the guy, but I think they're just like, you know what? We got rid of Bischoff. Why are we going to bring him back? Let's just stick Sean in there, Sean Waltman, and just put him in the Hall of Fame again.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. And who knows? Maybe, But here's my thing. Maybe when Eric Bischoff passes away, or not Bischoff, Vince McMahon passes away, maybe Tony Schiavone will lighten up a little bit. And if they do induct Eric Bischoff, then maybe Tony's stance will lighten up as well. Who knows? Remains to be seen. Killer Cross used to be in Impact, but not anymore. He got his release this week from Impact.
Yeah, I'm a little sad.
Well, they weren't really using him since Slammiversary.
No, but he was good in Impact.
Where do you think he goes? That's always going to be the question now when somebody gets, when they get their release. Where is he going to go?
Not WWE and not AEW. I think he will go to the independent.
Maybe. I think he's going to be in Mexico for a while. He seems to be very popular.
Yeah, like I said, he will go to one of the independent companies.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This is somewhat news, maybe not big to us, but we're just going to mention it anyway. The Young Bucks have left Twitter. Matt and Nick Jackson ended their Twitter personality thingy.
Okay.
So they're done with Twitter. There's nothing really else to say.
No, not really.
But that's just something that had to be brought up. All right, let's talk about The Masked Singer. Because we had our season finale, and it came down to the Fox, the Flamingo, and the Rottweiler. We said that the first hour was more of a just to catch you up if you didn't see any of them, but we didn't really pay attention to it. Second hour was where the magic happened because they got to perform one more time.
And what a round of songs it was. I will take you through it. Rottweiler sang Alive by Sia. Flamingo sang Proud Mary by Tina Turner. And Fox sang Try a Little Tenderness by Otis Redding.
And those were the final performances of the year. So,
Yes.
the third, I guess the bronze medal, I guess we could say, went to Flamingo.
I was very surprised by this.
I thought Flamingo would have been top 2.
Yeah, she had her worst day on the finale. That wasn't a very good version of Proud Mary, to be honest. And out of those 3 songs, I do think she did the worst of the finale. But I don't know if you agree.
Maybe. And
when I saw the finale, I was like, okay, the Fox is going to win this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because with the little tenderness and the rapping in the middle, that was so clever.
The Flamingo ended up being Adrienne Balloon.
Balloon, yes. Balloon.
I've never heard of her, but apparently she was in Cheetah Girls.
Yeah.
I got nothing really to say, so...
No.
But she did a really good job. I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah.
I will give her that. So it came down to the Fox and the Rottweiler, and it was the Fox winning. And Rottweiler, they had their guesses, but I believe a certain somebody on this show many weeks ago correctly predicted who the Rottweiler was. And it happened to be Chris Daughtry.
Yeah, American Idol.
I feel bad for him. He goes, because think about it. He goes to American Idol, and he ends up losing, like in the top 4.
Yeah,
He goes on the Masked Singer, and he loses again, and he finishes in 2nd.
I know.
But he did tremendous. He did a tremendous job, I thought, and he fooled them.
I think his stocks will go up. I think people will get more aware of him as times fly by. I think this helped him the most, actually. Yeah. And let's say the winner was Wayne Brady.
Fro figured out right away, and I caught on not too long after.
Right. That voice. Woo!
Oh, yeah, I'd known that voice for years. It just took me a moment, to figure it out. But no, he did fantastic. And I like that, to a degree, he kind of fooled them thinking that it was Jamie Foxx. And I kept thinking a little bit like, because the point with this show is you want to have the celebrities.
Yeah.
And so far it's been basically B and C list and to a degree D list.
Yeah, I think the most A-list they had this year was Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe Michelle Williams because of the Beyonce connection. Seal is up there.
Yeah.
Other than that, I would say Wayne Brady is maybe also up there.
Now, during the episode, I'm sure you caught this. They did a commercial for season 3, which will air.
And I already know one of the contestants. It's super obvious.
Which will air after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So it's going to air after the Super Bowl, which is February the 2nd.
Yep.
So,
and I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the rat is Paris Hilton.
Oh, I think that's pretty obvious, I would think. That the mouse,
it is so obvious.
The mouse is Paris Hilton. We also have, as we mentioned last week, the banana.
No clue.
No clue. We have the robot, which is...
that's a country western... It's a country western star.
Yeah. And we have...
I have a sneaking suspicion it can be Garth Brooks.
And we also have a female monster.
Mm-hmm.
We have a female...
She's up in her age. I like the hat. I have no clue, but yeah.
Whoever this is got to be big, because in the commercial, Nick Cannon was like, whoa. You know?
Yeah.
So they got somebody for that. But,
and they have said it is the most starstruck season ever.
Yeah.
I think when Paris Hilton comes out of the first episode and her mask is uncovered because she can't fucking sing. If you Google it, she has given out a single, and she can't sing on that single. It's pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
So when she loses on the first episode and she gets unmasked as Paris Hilton, Fro said it first.
2 months ago, exactly.
Yes.
So we'll have to see.
But yeah.
And then once they do the Super Bowl episode, I'm sure it'll be on the Wednesday episode. On Wednesdays.
Yes.
So, but no, I think this was a fun season. I think.
You think this was better or worse than season 1?
I think competition-wise, it was better.
Yeah, I agree.
I do believe it was better in that.
They had more personalities in this.
Mm-hmm. They did.
I would say, yeah.
They really did. So, no more talk about the Masked Singer until February. So,
yeah.
Congratulations to the Fox for winning that.
Yeah. Congrats to Wayne Brady.
So, Fro, real quick, did you at all, by any chance, watch that episode of Superstars this week?
I did.
All right. Give me your thoughts on this.
I liked it.
Yeah, isn't it that was a good episode.
I was pleasantly surprised by it. How about that?
Because I know you're not a fan of late 80s, early 90s wrestling, but
no.
It's a good, strong, story-based episode.
Yeah.
But all right, just wanted to see if you did.
Yeah.
All right, so as we mentioned, we have I have three pay-per-views to talk about, 2 of which Fro watched. One he did not.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in order by when they happened. And we will begin with what happened last Friday night for Ring of Honor and Final Battle. And I'm going to be straight honest with everyone. Of the 3 pay-per-views, this was my favorite of the 3.
I totally freaking agree.
Because, and I'm gonna say why now.
Yeah.
With the NWA pay-per-view, which was a good pay-per-view.
I didn't see it.
Right,
yeah.
but you didn't see. That's the one that I'll be doing on my own in a little bit. I thought it was a good... It could have been like a TV special, in a way. You know? That's how I thought of it as. With TLC, I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but it's okay. It had a very good start, but then once it got to the middle, it was a no. But we'll talk about it.
Hey.
We will talk about it when we get there. So, let's talk about Final Battle. Because, you know, Ring of Honor, they've been pooped on for the last several months. And they...
And I think they do deserve some of the poo.
They do. But...
Yeah, I mean...
The one thing I've always believed with Ring of Honor is when the chips have been down and when people have bet against them, they've ended up coming and rising to the occasion, and that's what they did with this pay-per-view. They rose up to the occasion. So,
I could not agree more.
So the first hour of this pay-per-view, you could watch for free. You could watch it on Ring of Honor Club. You could watch it on Facebook. That's where I watched it, was on Facebook. And something that I'm going to say that actually surprised me was how great the streaming was the first hour of the show. They had no problems whatsoever with the streaming. Everything came off great. And it looked like, it just looked fantastic. So the first match is a tag team match. Silas Young and Josh Woods against Dalton Castle and Joe Hendry. This was my first time seeing Joe Hendry wrestle. I heard a little bit about him. I think he's going to be something in 2020 for Ring of Honor.
He was surprisingly good.
Yeah. This was a fun tag team match to watch. A lot of good wrestling, good storytelling. You could believe in both teams. No cheating. It was just a good tag team match. And Josh Woods beat Dalton Castle with a running knee to win the tag match. And a fun tag match. I gave it a B-.
I gave it a B.
All right. And we do have Dave Meltzer's ratings in front of me, so I will give you his ratings. He gave it 2 stars. But, you know, it's probably because it was the opening match. I don't know. I do want to mention this because we had a promo after the match. It was a pre-recorded promo with Brian Zane. And for those who don't know him, he hosts a channel on YouTube called Wrestling with Regret, which is a good channel. I do recommend it. He does some good videos. I don't watch it all the time, but he does have some good videos. So he's been working with Ring of Honor. I don't know how he got a job over me, but that's neither here nor there. And he interviews Mandy Leon and Angelina Love. And they talk about the match with Maria Manic that's coming up later tonight. Angelina Love is... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that Angelina Love looks like a Barbie that can't move her fucking face.
I actually liked this promo because she was so overconfident in the match, especially with what happens later, which we will get to in a little bit.
I was very happy.
Next match, Rhett Titus against Kenny King. Match could have been a little bit more for me. It just didn't really connect. Rhett Titus
It was so short. It felt like it was over right away. They didn't give it enough air. It just felt very rushed.
Rhett's wife and son, new baby, were at ringside. Match. Amy Rose interferes at the end of the match. Kenny King hits the Royal Flush to get the win. This wasn't much of a match. I gave it a C.
I gave it a D+.
All right. Meltzer gave this 2 stars. After that match, we had a promo from the bouncers who were at ringside. They gave their prediction as to who was going to win the main event. That was a fun segment.
It was kind of funny.
And then we get Alex Shelley coming out, which was a nice surprise. And he talks about how he's not on the card. And there's a certain someone that's not on the card. And that he's never had a one-on-one match with someone. So he calls out Colt Cabana, who is on commentary. And Colt Cabana is challenged to a one-on-one match for later in the night, which Colt happily accepts. So we got a brand new match for this pay-per-view. How was the match?
I like this.
Well, we'll find out when we get to it a little later.
But I like the promo.
Oh, no, this was well done. This was well done.
Yeah.
So we have our final match of hour number 1, Jeff Cobb against Dan Moff. Oh, what a great match this was.
Almost match of the night.
Yeah, this was my number 2 match of the night.
It was my number 2 as well.
This was so good.
I wonder if we have the same first match of the night.
We'll have to see. This was just the best way to describe it. This was a fun battle of the big men.
Yep.
And they both looked fantastic. Dan Moff has not been on a major Ring of Honor show like this in forever. Because I watched him.
I don't think I ever seen him before.
But man, he still got it. He still got it. He looks great.
Whew.
Jeff Cobb gets the win with the Tour of the Islands. And then after the match, and I thought this was really cool, Cobb put his hand out to shake hands. Moff chops Cobb, and then Cobb chops Moff back, and then they shook hands, which was really cool. That was a good sign of respect. They ended up tag teaming on Sunday for their TV taping. I gave this a B. This was a strong B.
I gave it a B+. I really liked it.
Meltzer gave this 3.25 stars. Actually, no, you know what? Let me take that back. It is in my top 3. It's actually number 3, but just barely at number 3. Like, it could have been number 2. You'll find out what it is later. All right, so now we go to the actual pay-per-view itself, where if you bought it on pay-per-view, that's the only way you could watch it. The others, well, too bad.
Well,
I know.
Well, it's not the only way you could watch it.
Well, quiet, never mind. Anyway, opening match, tag team.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Tag team match, Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon against Bandito and Flamita. Fun tag team match to watch. I really enjoyed it. Bandito and Flamita, this is the first time I've seen them together as a tag team. I know they've tag teamed for a while, but this was my first time watching them. Oh my God, I love this team already. I am expecting them to do big things in 2020.
It seemed like they were over, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were. Marty Scurll is very over. Flip Gordon is over. This was just a very, very fun match to watch. Nothing was really on the line except for basically pride. And Bandito and Flamito got the win with the 21 plex on the Scurll. Gave this an A-.
Really?
Yeah, I love this match.
So this was the match of the night for you?
This was my match of the night.
Okay, because this was my third match of the night. I gave this a B.
All right.
B.
All right, Meltzer gave this 3.75 stars. Ooh, actually, pardon me, I got a little gift from an elf. Some kind of bread.
Nice.
I'm gonna taste this on air, so I'll tell you guys what this is in a minute. It smells like it's pumpkin bread.
it's probably a pumpkin bread then.
No,
You know,
this is pumpkin bread.
Mm.
Very good.
Uh,
My
I'm not a big fan.
My compliments to the chef.
Mm.
Next match, and I was
That's
surprised.
me calling in the background, ordering pumpkin bread, by the way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
The next match which I was actually surprised how early this was
Mhm.
Matt Taven against Vincent.
Yeah, why was this so early?
I don't know, but oh my
Good
gosh,
question.
this was another good match.
This is my match of the night, actually.
Oh, this is you don't have an argument for me. You do not.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this match. So much back and forth.
Mm-hmm. So much back and forth. It's a rivalry now because the kingdom is no more. It is fun to watch. They basically try to destroy each other.
Yep.
And at one point, Matt Taven pulls out Vincent's axe. And I'm like, oh my god, are they going to actually get away with this? But they don't. Vincent hits an acid drop to get the win in a match that really put Vincent over, which I liked.
Yep.
He got the win. After the match, Bateman, who I believe they recently signed, and he's from England. Bless you. Bless you. He came. Bless you. He came in, beat up on Matt Taven, hit a tombstone, and then they double teamed Taven, and they basically did the spot from the movie Misery. Which, for those who don't know what that is, they took a piece of wood, a wooden block, put it between the ankles, and they hit Matt Taven with an object, and they quote-unquote broke his ankle. Very well done. I really like this match. I know this was your match of the night, but I gave this a B.
I gave this an A-.
All right. So we've had a pretty good show so far here, I think.
Yeah.
That is until this next match.
Yep, I was just going to say that.
Man.
Oh my god. This was so bad.
It is Mark Haskins against Bully Ray in a street fight.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, I love Bully Ray.
He can be a very smart individual. When he's on, he's on.
He was definitely not on in this little pay-per-view.
Now, I will admit, I liked the beginning of the match.
Mm-hmm.
After the beginning, I don't know what happened. So
it just fell down.
So let's describe the beginning of the match. Mark Haskins, he's walking out to the ring with his wife, Vicky. Their backs are towards the stage. Bully Ray comes running down with a board and barbed wire on it. He knocks Mark Haskins down with it. Vicky then turns around, and Bully hits her in the head with the board.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of security guys come. He beats up the security guys. And then, for the next 12 plus minutes, Bully Ray beats the crap out of Mark Haskins. Anything that he could have grabbed, he used. Chair. Cane.
Yep.
Bell.
Yep.
Guardrail. Table.
Yep.
Cheese grater. But, to their credit, Mark Haskins would not give up. So this goes on for a long time. And then
it felt like 2 freaking hours.
And then we get to the end. Thankfully. Because Bully Ray goes to the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky comes back. She grabs the cheese grater and starts grating Bully Ray in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
And Bully Ray even yells, "My balls!"
Mm-hmm.
And they put Bully through a table. Mark Haskins gets the win. I'm happy for Mark Haskins that he got the win. But this just did not click.
No.
It did not click. I gave this a D.
I give this an F.
It just didn't click.
I just stated it. I just stated it from the start.
Next match after that. Okay, let's try to recover here.
Yes.
It is Alex Shelley against Colt Cabana.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun little match. It's just technical wrestling.
It's totally okay. It's a little short.
Well, I mean, you had 11 matches on this card, Fro. I mean,
right. I know. I'm just saying it. Right. It was a little like,
good, fun little match. Alex Shelley got the win. I give it a C plus.
I give it a C plus as well.
Then
was anybody surprised that he won? By the way,
oh, I
was like,
by the way, from the Street Fight, Meltzer gave that match 2 3/4 stars. This match he gave 2.5 stars.
Wow.
Then we go to this match, which might have been the most fun match of the night. Maria Manic versus Angelina Love.
Oh my God.
Maria Manic's Ring of Honor debut.
She's good.
This is the way you put over new talent.
I could not agree more.
This is how.
And I will say something very nice about Angelina Love. That she took the beating she did in this match. I commend.
Yeah,
I don't like her. I don't like her wrestling.
Like $1 million.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her wrestling. But I commend her doing this.
Angelina Love did not get one offensive move in the entire match. Maria Manic. Manic just dominated Angelina Love. Mandy Leon tried to get involved. Manic stopped her. This was a perfect way of how you push a new talent in your company over. And it came off wonderfully. Maria Manic gets the win. I gave it a C+.
I gave it a C-.
Meltzer gave this half a star.
Wow.
Now, I will say that, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but not too much. Sunday during the TV taping, Bully Ray came out and powerbombed Maria Manic through a table. So, I am looking forward to the Maria Manic Bully Ray feud.
Ooh, that will be good.
Be good. Next, we have the TV title match. Shane Taylor defending against Dragon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
This was another good match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this match. Shane Taylor came off looking very good.
Almost the same.
Yeah, Dragon Lee was very good in this match, and him trying to pick up Shane Taylor was a sight you have to see. I liked that Dragon Lee, towards the end of the match, took the chain that Shane Taylor had, wrapped it around his knee, and hit Taylor with the running knee with the chain on the knee. I thought that was very good. And then he hits Taylor with the running knee without the pad on, And Dragon Lee is the new Ring of Honor television champion. I gave this a C+.
I gave it a B-.
Ooh, your hands are cold. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my god, the hands are cold. Oh my god. Oh my god. We had some elves come in the studio. I think they went the polar bear plunging. You gave it a B-. Meltzer gave this 3 1/4 stars. Then we had the Ring of Honor Tag Team title match, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham against the Briscoes. I would have given this a little bit more of a higher grade if it didn't feel like it went slow at times. It wasn't a bad match, but at times it just didn't feel like it was going anywhere. Like the Briscoe family was in the crowd, Lethal and Gresham were making fun of them. You know, it was a good, solid match. Lethal, Schoolboy's Mark Briscoe has a handful of tights, and Lethal and Gresham win the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a C.
I gave it a C-.
Meltzer gave this 3 1/2 stars. And now we go to the main event for the Ring of Honor World title. ROH, the champion, defending against PCO. Fro, I'm going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not controversial. This is the honest truth. I've been a fan of Ring of Honor for over 15 years. Almost 16 this February. I've seen a lot of their world title matches. This is the weirdest Ring of Honor world title match I have ever seen. But
this is the weirdest match I have ever seen.
But in a way, it was entertaining. They have a fight. They're fighting all around. And they fight to a hearse. There's a hearse near the stage. All of a sudden, PCO's handler, Destro, yes, Destro, sounds like Destro from G.I. Joe, comes in, pulls the grill off the hearse, electrocutes PCO back to life. They then go back into the ring. There are doors there. I am not kidding. There are doors. PCO he hits the cannonball through the door on ROH and then hits a moonsault. And at the age of 51 years old, PCO is the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah.
At 51. Tells you age is not a...
Yeah. Yeah, it's a super weird wrestling match.
It is.
Where I felt a little
disappointed?
Interest. Yeah, and a little disinterest as well. This is my second lowest rated match of the night.
What did you give it?
A D+.
I gave it a B-. Only because there was some good stuff in there, but the fact that PCO won the title. But overall, I thought this was a really good show. I really did.
It was okay.
But this was the show they needed, bro. This was the show they needed.
Yeah. But the title, yeah,
The,
I wish they ended in another way.
I mean, granted, the main event.
I had a bad taste in my mouth because of the main event being such a, yeah,
I mean,
cluster.
granted, this was a weird main event, but the rest of the
Yeah.
show, for the most part,
Oh, the rest of the show.
yeah,
I agree.
was very good. So, yeah, I honestly, of the three, I think Ring of Honor had the best pay-per-view of the three, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, of the two I watched,
right.
I agree.
So, now I want to talk about the NWA pay-per-view from Saturday.
Please do.
Because you had, I believe, the match of the weekend with this pay-per-view.
Okay.
Which I'll get to in a little bit. So, we mentioned all the matches. So, opening match is a women's match. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it is not. It is Eli Drake against Ken Anderson, excuse me. This was a fun little grudge match.
Okay.
You could tell it had a little bit of a TNA kind of vibe, but it wasn't to where it sucked people out of it. And it was a fun little match. Eli Drake got the win, and I gave it a C.
Okay.
So after the match, Nick Aldis gets interviewed, and he talks about how this night is not only for the wrestlers, but it's for the fans, which is true, because he uses the line that he said in the first episode. He made the NWA go from a punchline to a headline. Which, if you think about it, is pretty true. I mean, they'd been a laughing stock for a long, long time. And then James Storm came out, and they hyped the main event very well. We'll see how that main event goes a little bit later on. So then we have our first women's match, which is Tasha Steelz against Thunder Rosa. Now, one thing I should mention is for the pay-per-view, they had as their entrance them going through the crowd, which was really cool, and they had music. So we had music for the pay-per-view. This was a very good women's match. I believed in Tasha Steelz. I think Tasha Steelz should be a part of the NWA. There's a lot of potential there with her. I could see her being used in the future. Thunder Rosa looks very good. I could see Thunder Rosa as someone who in 2020 could win the women's title. Thunder Rosa ends up getting the victory in the match. Now, after the match, Thunder Rosa starts to attack Steelz. She's already won the match.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Ashley Vox comes out. Now, Ashley Vox has a tag match later in the night. Rosa attacks the arm of Ashley Vox. So now you wonder, is Vox going to be able to participate in the match for later on? So now we go to this next match. This was a fun match. It is the Question Mark against Trevor Murdoch. Now, before we even get to the match, Question Mark is accompanied by Aaron Stevens. Aaron Stevens is wearing a karate outfit. Stevens is on the mic, and he tells them that he has learned Mongrovian karate. Now, Monrovia is a fake country, but this is still fun to watch. He is a 3rd-degree black belt in Mongrovian karate.
Ooh, Mongrovian.
Mm-hmm. But, Fro, it gets better. They have a national flag for Monrovia. It is. Let me tell you what the flag is. It is
Wow.
an ostrich on one side and
Okay.
an anteater on the other side. And in the middle is a question mark. The fans are eating this up.
Oh.
And then the question mark sings the Mongrovian national anthem. Which goes a little something like this. But Trevor Murdoch interrupts him. So, we have a match. This is a fun match. This is not to be taken seriously at all. And then Trevor Murdoch does the unthinkable. He disgraces the Mongrovian flag. He takes the flag.
Oh no!
All the fans ate this shit up. Oh my god. It is fantastic. The question mark beats Trevor Murdoch with the Mongrovian spike. I love this. This was a fun match. I gave this a C+. This is entertainment done the right way, a fun way.
I almost want to see it now.
You have to see this match. I mean, it's not a 5-star match, but it is a fun match. Okay, so next match is the NWA World Tag Team titles. The Rock and Roll Express are defending against the Wild Cards. Now, the Rock and Roll Express for this match are accompanied by Homicide and Eddie Kingston. Mm-hmm. The Wild Cards are accompanied by the Dawson brothers in this match. So, basically each team has a team in their corner. This match is a little bit better than the match they had where the Rock and Roll Express won the tag team titles. The end of the match is a Pier 6 brawl on the outside with the teams on the outside. And the Rock and Roll Express hit a double drop kick on Royce Isaacs, and the Rock and Roll Express retain the NWA World Tag Team titles. I was a little surprised by it, but I thought the match was good. I gave it a B-. Now, after that match, we get a huge announcement, Fro. This is a huge announcement. Because we go to our commentators, Joe Galley and Stu Bennett. You may know Stu as Bad News Barrett. And we are told that we're going to have another pay-per-view next month, which will be on February the 24th.
Mm.
And on that night, we will crown a brand new NWA television champion. And that is a big deal because a lot of people were asking, like in the NWA Facebook group that I run, to bring that belt back. And they are bringing it back. And when we discuss our best show of the week, I'm going to spoil it right now. It is NWA, but I'm going to go into, when we get there, my reasons why. So, then we get an interview with Eli Drake. Eli Drake basically challenges the winner of the main event to a world title match. And then Mr. Anderson comes out and he beats up Eli Drake. He wraps a chair around the neck and throat of Eli Drake. Drake goes into the post with the chair around his neck. So, got a little story there. Now we have a tag team match. We have our women's tag team match. Allison Kay comes out to the ring alone. She's going to face Melina and Marty Bell. So Ashley Vox, because she got attacked and injured, will not be able to participate in this match. However, Allison Kay does have a suitable replacement as her tag team partner. And it is none other than ODB.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I was sure she was not going to go there.
But this isn't the only surprise we get later in the night.
Ooh.
It's a match. Kay and ODB get the win. I gave it a C. Then we go to our three-way match for the National Heavyweight title. Colt Cabana defending against Ricky Starks and Aaron Stevens. Question mark is there in the corner of Aaron Stevens. Aaron Stevens plays such a great classic heel, cowardly heel, that for half of the match, he is on the outside hiding behind the Christmas tree that they have set up in the studio. I really liked this. And this is how the match ends. Colt Cabana has Ricky Starks pinned. Or, I'm sorry, no, Starks... No, who is, No, I'm right. Cabana has Starks pinned. He's got him beat. He's going to retain the title. Question mark hits Cabana with the Mongrovian spike. Stevens runs into the ring, throws or pushes Starks out of the way, pins Cabana. Aaron Stevens is the new National Heavyweight Champion. This was a fun match. I enjoyed it. The right guy went over. I gave it a B-. And now we go to the main event. This is for the NWA World Heavyweight title. Best 2 out of 3 falls. James Storm challenging Nick Aldis. 2 referees for this match. Brian Hebner and Tim Storm. Brian Hebner is the referee for the first fall. So here's how the first fall goes, bro. We get classic wrestling, collar and elbow tie-up here and there. We get a good setup. All of a sudden, Camille comes out. Now, Camille, for those who don't know, is the insurance policy for Nick Aldis. Aldis said that Camille was not there. She would not be there for this event. Well, she distracts Nick Aldis, and James Storm hits a super kick, and James Storm wins the first fall. Just like that. So Storm is up 1 fall to nothing. Now, Tim Storm comes in for the referee for the second fall. It's a good little back and forth action. Aldis gets a roll-up and wins the second fall. So we are even at 1 fall apiece. As we're trying to get ready for the third fall, Aldis and James Storm start attacking each other. They're throwing punches. They're trying to break them up. So we have a coin toss. This coin toss is going to determine who referees the third fall. Brian Hebner wins the coin toss, so he will be the referee for the third fall. This is great storytelling because James Storm and Nick Aldis, they got a good back and forth match. There are times where Aldis is in trouble. It looks like he's going to lose the title. Then Nick Aldis accidentally clotheslines the original referee, Brian Hebner. Storm hits a super kick. He's got Nick Aldis beat, dead to right. He's got him beat. Tim Storm, at first, checks on the referee. But he goes back into the ring, counts 1, 2, long enough to get a kick out, does Aldis. Then we get to the end of the match. James Storm is fighting Aldis. Aldis is grabbing a turnbuckle. James Storm gets a roll-up. Basically an O'Connor roll onto Aldis. 1, 2, Aldis kicks him. James Storm goes face first into the exposed turnbuckle. He is knocked out. Aldis sees this. He puts a Texas Clover Leaf on James Storm. Tim Storm checks on James. James is unresponsive. The referee calls for the bell. Nick Aldis retains the NWA World Heavyweight title in a fantastic main event. The best match of the weekend. I gave it an A-.
Wow.
So, you'd think the pay-per-view's over. Not quite, Fro. Because after the match, Nick Aldis is interviewed by David Marquez. And Aldis says, I've beaten everybody. I don't think, not think. He says that he knows there is not a man alive who can take this title away from him. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out. And then you start to hear some music. And then you start to hear, whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Marty Scurll comes out. And the place goes crazy. They are going apeshit.
Wow.
Aldis gets in the ring. Scurll gets in the ring. They look at each other. Aldis leaves the ring. And that's how the pay-per-view ends.
But how is his contract with Ring of Honor?
I'm glad you asked, my good man. As of right now, Marty Scurll is a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants to go. He can still wrestle in Ring of Honor because they have a handshake agreement. And he could also wrestle for the NWA. Because if you remember, earlier this year at the Crockett Cup, they had that match for the world title, and that was a hell of a match.
Yes.
I think I know what will main event that January pay-per-view. And
I think maybe I know as well.
And as a matter of fact, tickets went on sale yesterday for that pay-per-view. Sold out in 3 hours.
Wow.
So, I wanted to read this because I actually posted this on our NWA, the NWA Facebook group that I'm in. What grade would you give this pay-per-view? Most people gave it an A. Some people gave it a B. Some gave it a D. One person gave it a C. I'm going to give this a B. It was an enjoyable pay-per-view. The main event was fantastic. You had good stuff in there. It was nothing insulting, nothing bad. And it was just a fun show to watch. It was worth it. Fight.tv is where you can find the replay of the pay-per-view. Check it out. It is worth it. Okay, Fro, here's what we're going to do. You and I, we're going to take a quick break because we have a special segment that we're going to play here. When we come back, you and I, we're going to discuss TLC. We're going to discuss what we thought was the best wrestling TV show this week. And we're going to discuss 2019 in professional wrestling as a whole. So, we're going to take a break, and we're going to go to this pre-recorded segment now.
Hope you guys are enjoying this week's show, our season finale, as we take a look back at 2019 in the world of professional wrestling. This is the segment in the show every year where we pay our final respects to the men and women who passed away during this last calendar year, and this is a segment that is a little bit hard at times for people because, you know, a lot of the wrestlers and a lot of the personalities we grew up with, we loved, we idolized. And when I do this segment every year, this is my way of paying respect one more time for the year to all those who performed in front of us, made us entertain, made us laugh, made us think, make us cry. For this year, the song that will be played will be Silent Lucidity by Queensryche, as we now pay respects to the men and women who we lost in 2019. And before I begin, I just want to say that if I forget anybody, I do apologize. It's not because I didn't like them. It's just how it is. I just chose the people. So let's go pay our last respects to those we lost in 2019. In 2019, we said goodbye to these people: Trevor Adonis, Mean Gene Okerlund, Alexei Smirnoff, Alex Payne, Les Thornton, Salvatore Bellomo, Pedro Morales, King Kong Bundy, The Destroyer, Nature Boy Roger Kirby, Larry Cheatham, Silver King, Ashley Massaro, Atsushi Aoki, Max Muscle, Jacques Rougeau Sr., Pero Aguayo Sr., Paco Alonso, Harley Race, Eddie Marlin, Norman Frederick Charles III, Mike Porter, Big Titan, and Matt Travis. Those are the individuals who left us in 2019 to join the big wrestling ring in the sky.
Welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed that tribute to the wrestlers that passed away in 2019. So,
Yeah, rest in peace, John Cena.
Oh, Fro, that's terrible.
What?
He's not.
I can't see him.
Oh, jeez. All right, now let's talk about the pay-per-view on Sunday, TLC. And, Fro, guess whose ratings we also get to bring in for this one?
Could it be a small little independent TV station, maybe?
How about two of them? CBS Sports
Wow.
and ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Along
Cool.
with Dave Meltzer's thoughts as well.
Yeah, so this is, of course, tomatoes, lettuce, and cabbage.
Yeah.
Yes. The pay-per-view.
Yeah, or, yeah. No, I was thinking of the Princess Bride joke. MLT, mud, lettuce, and tomato.
MLT, yeah.
When the
Yeah,
mud is nice and extra crispy. Hey, come on, Princess Bride. I don't know too many people
I
that
love
don't
that
like that
movie.
You like it?
Yeah,
It's
of course.
That's one of those, real quick, that's one of those few movies I don't know too many people that don't like it. Okay, so Minneapolis, Minnesota is the location for this event. Remember that for when we go through this card. We have a pre-show match.
Because it's so important.
Well, for this one it is, actually.
Kind of, yeah.
Andrade against Humberto Carrillo. Loved this match. Oh my
Very
God.
good pre-show match. Why was this on the pre-show?
Fro, how long? You and I, we've been reviewing these shows for, what, 2.5 years?
Something like that.
Can we agree this is the best pre-show match that we have reviewed in the 2.5 years?
Ooh,
For WWE?
is it
For
pre-show
WWE.
match?
I
think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any other.
Mm.
This was a fun match. This was better than the match they had on Raw Monday night.
Definitely.
Andrade gets busted open during the match. It was accidental. It wasn't a blade job, Fro, so don't worry.
No, I know. I saw it was... I saw how it happened.
Yeah. Very good match. The end of the match, Humberto. Andrade tries a top rope move, but Humberto comes in, hits a backward Rana, and then hits a moonsault from the top rope to get the win. A fantastic match. And I agree with you. How was this on the pre-show? I gave this a B.
I gave this a B+.
Meltzer gave this 3.25 stars.
Okay.
CBS Sports gave it an A-.
Oh,
And,
wow.
And are you ready for this? ESPN actually gave this match a rating.
Wow.
Because ESPN never gives a rating on the pre-show matches.
Never, no.
They gave it 3.25 out of 5.
Okay.
So, now we go into the pay-per-view. Our opening match is a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Revival against the New Day. Now, I want to mention...
Is it only me that I found it very strange that they opened with this?
I think this was the right way to go.
Okay.
Now, during the pre-show, and I want to mention this because I think this could lead to something. The Revival interrupt Booker T, and they just verbally attack him and say how they are a better team than he and his brother ever were, and how they should give them their WWE Hall of Fame rings. So, expect, and I'm saying this jokingly, but it might happen, expect at WrestleMania the Revival against Harlem Heat.
The thing is, I wouldn't mind that
I wouldn't mind that match either. I really wouldn't. That's the crazy part. Okay, this match was insane. This was a fun match.
Very good beginning.
Loved this match. This is 2 great matches to start a WWE pay-per-view. What am I living in?
Well, the one where everything crashes in the middle.
Oh, yeah, that's true. A lot of dangerous spots in this match that we can't really mention because there's too many of them. Kofi ends up climbing the ladder to retain the tag team titles. A hell of a match for this pay-per-view. I gave it an A-.
I gave it an A- as well.
All right. Meltzer gave this 3.75 stars. CBS Sports also gave it an A-. And ESPN gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Would you say it's the match of the night?
Absolutely.
Oh, I totally agree.
However, this next match would be my
It's a good contender.
Yep, this would be my number 2.
Yep, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Because it is Buddy Murphy against Aleister Black.
Whew, it's good.
Oh my God, this is another good match. Oh,
Three good matches in a row.
Bro,
Will they follow it up?
Bro, this must be the holiday season. I mean, we're getting a miracle here.
Don't hold your breath.
Aleister Black. Aleister Black gets busted open from his nose. Again, another accident, Fro, so you don't have to, go crazy over this. There are times where it looks like Buddy Murphy's gonna win. But he comes so close. And then Aleister Black hits the Black Mass. Both these guys look like $1 million in this match. I am hoping in the new year these two get pushed big time because they both deserve it.
I totally agree.
I'm actually gonna bump my grade up. I had this as a B. I'm giving it a B+.
Oh, this is definitely a B+ for me.
Love this match.
Let's see if we love the next match as much.
Meltzer gave this match 3.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it an A. ESPN gave it 4.25 out of 5.
Let's see if we love the next match as much. Is this as good, Bill?
Now, Fro, I'm okay. Now, I want to say this to everyone, real quick. Fro does not know about what I'm about to talk about here.
Okay.
But Fro actually slept through this pay-per-view. Like, he was not feeling good.
Yes.
So we're like...
I was not feeling good at all.
So we're like, okay, that's cool. No hard feelings. It's fine. Fro, you missed one of the greatest conversations I think we've ever had on Skype.
Oh.
Because at this point, it's Steve and I. Luke hadn't joined yet, but he will eventually. So the match that we're going to talk about here is the Viking Raiders with an open challenge. Now, during their intro, we see 4 people sitting at a table with KFC all over it.
Yep.
They got buckets of chicken. They got mashed potatoes. They got coleslaw.
Yep.
Bro, this is where I got pissed. You know why? They missed the best part of a KFC meal. The potato wedges. Where were the potato wedges? You can't have a KFC meal without potato wedges. So I digress. The open challenge gets answered by Gallows and Anderson. This is apparently for the Raw Tag Team titles. It's a match.
It's definitely a match.
The match ends in a double countout. The fans did not like it.
No!
After the match...
Fro did not like it.
After the match, they take the KFC table, and 2 of the people smartly grabbed the buckets of chicken so the buckets couldn't get destroyed. And Carl Anderson goes through the KFC table where all the other food is there, but they don't have the damn potato wedges.
I'm not as angry at the potato wedges as you are because
you don't have
KFC and
exactly.
No.
Damn it! How could you sell your product without the best? So anyway, we told Luke about this. And we learned that in Oregon, they call potato wedges JoJo's. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know. That was actually a pretty cool little lesson there. For the match itself, I gave it a C+. For the entire segment, I gave it an F because they don't have potato wedges.
No, I gave this a D+.
But smart move, real quick, smart move by those people grabbing the bucket chicken.
Grabbing the bucket, yeah.
Save the
But this match was absolutely nothing. It was so boring. I hate the way Viking Warriors with a passion.
Save the product.
Oh.
Meltzer gave this a star and a half.
Yeah.
CBS gave it a B-. ESPN gave it 1 3/4 out of 5.
Yeah.
So we had an interview with The Miz, talking about his match with Bray Wyatt. Not Fiend Bray Wyatt, but regular Bray Wyatt. We'll get to that a little later. Then we have our first of 2 TLC matches. It is Roman Reigns against King Corbin. And
Let's get this match.
I didn't think it was that bad until the end.
Oh, come on. The ending.
The ending was... I mean, I understand why they did it, but it's like...
Ending is atrocious.
Yeah. This is a good match to watch.
It is a good match to watch, and I will say this to Roman Reigns. He is good at wrestling sometimes, but the ending of this match is so terrible.
It is. I mean, they're doing a good job using the plunder. They get the can of dog food out, but they don't open the can. Dolph Ziggler eventually comes out, and it's a 2-on-1. So, Reigns is trying to handle the beatdown. Then the Revival come out.
Yeah, why?
And it's 4-on-1.
It makes absolutely no sense.
And King Corbin hits the end of days and beats Roman Reigns.
Boo.
But here's the thing, Fro. First off, I had no problem with Corbin going over. I thought he should have won.
Me neither.
And he did.
But it's the way he goes over.
Exactly. It's the way.
Yeah.
I gave it a C.
Well, I gave it a D-.
Meltzer gave this 1 3/4 stars.
Yeah.
CBS Sports gave it a B. ESPN gave it 1 3/4 out of 5.
Okay.
Now, our next match is The Miz versus Bray Wyatt. Oh, by the way, this is a non-title match.
Why?
We have no idea. Now,
why did they suddenly change it to non-title when they have said all along that this was going to be a title match? Why did they suddenly decide that this was not going to be?
But Fro, I don't think they said this was a title match.
Oh, they have promoted it as it was, yeah.
Now, I will say this. I really like the entrance that Bray Wyatt had. Because they
love it.
Because they play the Firefly Funhouse theme song, and he comes out, and he's so happy, and he's wearing the Argyle sweater, and it's really cool. The fans are buying into it.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the match.
Yeah.
Because after the match, it's just them doing moves on each other. And
I didn't understand this. This is the worst match of the night, I think.
And Miz is trying to be a convincing face, but it doesn't quite work.
No.
And the worst part is the end of the match, because Wyatt beats up Miz on the outside. He hits Sister Abigail, and the refs count it. Miz gets back in the ring. What the hell are you doing?
I'm washing a dish.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. That's okay. No, Miz gets back in by the count of 9. Only for him to get hit with another Sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt wins the match.
Yeah.
Then we see The Fiend on the Titantron.
This was so stupid.
Bray Wyatt sees him, and he goes out, and he gets the mallet.
So stupid.
Then, as he's about to hit the Miz with the mallet,
Mm-hmm.
a guy in a hoodie comes in, hits a running knee that knocks down Bray Wyatt.
I wonder who this could be.
And it is a clean-shaved Daniel Bryan. And
To nobody's fucking surprise.
yeah, but his look is so different.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost like 5 pounds worth just because of his hair. So he beats up Bray Wyatt. He grabs the mallet. He's about to hit him with the mallet. And then the lights go on and off, and Bray Wyatt escapes. So that, the beginning, like the entrance and post-match saved what was otherwise a match I don't think I ever want to see again. I changed my grade again. I bumped it down to a D.
Well, this got an F.
I think Mr. Meltzer would agree with you, because you know what he gave this? A dud.
It does, yeah.
CBS... Oh my god, CBS Sports.
They had very high grades for matches I didn't like so far. What did they give this? Let me guess. A B plus?
A what?
A B plus?
Exactly.
No!
Yeah.
That was pure guess.
ESPN gave this 3.25 out of 5.
Wow! Jesus Christ on a stick.
What did
My.
Okay.
They really had to get paid by the WWE to...
They gotta be in WWE's pocket.
Jeez.
I mean...
That's terrible.
the match was so bad that I'm eating this pumpkin broth. I'm talking to you. I'm so proud of this.
I totally agree. I can agree more.
Yeah. So, after that business our next match happens to actually be better.
Yeah.
Because it's Lashley against Rusev in a tables match. Now, I will say, the video package they did might have actually been the most creative video package they've done all year.
It was really good.
And I apologize to our listeners for me talking while eating. That last match was terrible, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, the video package is basically them ripping off TMZ. Which was pretty cool. This was not a bad match. I enjoyed this.
I liked it as well.
Lana...
I saw a lot of heat for this.
Yeah, I don't get it, because Lana played a part, but she didn't play too much of a part in the match.
No.
And I didn't think it was that bad of a match.
No, me neither.
Lashley got the win, putting Rusev through a table to continue the storyline, and people were like, oh god, this is going to continue. Well, we'll talk about it when we discuss TV this week. I didn't think it was that bad of a match. I gave it a B-.
No. I give it a B.
That's probably the people that hated this match right now calling. Meltzer gave this 1.5 stars. CBS Sports gave it a C+. ESPN gave it 1.75 out of 5. Now, before we get to the main event, this has to be brought up. After the match, we see the Street Profits. They're cutting, their usual Street Profits promo. And Montez Ford asks Angelo Dawkins what Lashley should do when he's, while he's dating Lana. And he's like, I got one word for him. Vasectomy. Okay. Then, all of a sudden, for no bloody reason, we have a brawl backstage. And guess who's leading the brawl, Fro?
Who?
Roman Reigns and King Corbin.
Oh, what a shock.
Surely this will be the last time we see this brawl on the pay-per-view.
Oh, yes. It definitely is the last time we see this brawl on this pay-per-view.
Now we go
It
to
isn't last. Spoiler alert, it isn't the last time.
Oh, thanks a lot, Fro, for ruining the joke. So anyway, now we go to the main event. It is the other TLC match for the women's tag team titles. Becky and Charlotte challenging Asuka and Kairi Sane. During the match, I remembered, and I want to see if you remember this too, Fro. Do you remember what the main event of last year's TLC match or pay-per-view was?
No.
It was Charlotte, Becky, and Asuka.
Oh.
So 2 years in a row, these three women main event TLC.
Nice.
No problem. I have no problem with that. And you add Kairi Sane into the mix, this should be a very good match,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Is it?
They use the weapons.
Okay.
Asuka finds a rope.
Now I wonder what your definition of interesting is, because I thought this match was awful.
Well, I meant from what they were using.
Oh.
Becky Lynch ends up getting tied down on top of a ladder as if she's in one of those old silent movies where the villain has tied her up and is like, a train is going to come and run you over. No one will save you. It had that kind of vibe. Apparently Kairi Sane got hurt during the match. She has not been medically cleared to come back. Hopefully she gets better. Becky is eventually saved by her hero, Charlotte Flair, from the train track ladder spot. And then we get to the end of the match. Becky is climbing the ladder to retrieve the belt. Asuka is on the outside, and guess what she does?
What?
She uses the rope that is still tied to the ladder, pulls the rope, and Becky falls off the ladder. Asuka climbs up, wins the belt, wins the match. Now the ending is pretty creative. I gotta admit.
The ending is totally okay. Yes.
This crowd is dead. It is dead.
Yep.
I gave this a C+.
And I understand why they are dead, because it's like it's been a Kincaid of bad matches. I gave this a C-. All
right. Meltzer gave this 2.25 stars. CBS. Want to guess what CBS gave it?
B+ again.
B+ again. What the hell were they smoking? TLC, ESPN, LMNOP, KKK. I'm coming up with all these letter initials here.
GPRS.
IRS. ESPN gave this 2.75 out of 5. So okay, after that, it's like, oh, okay, Asuka got the belts. They're going to show highlights. You know, they're going to show Asuka and Kairi celebrating this win. No, because Roman Reigns and King Corbin are continually brawling into the crowd with more people there. People that were there during the night. People that didn't have a match. The pay-per-view ends with Roman Reigns spearing Corbin from like 3 feet off the ground into a whole pile of people. That ends the pay-per-view. Fro, I'm going to say something. I don't care if people think it's controversial. I'm going to say it right now. That ending, that's the death of the women's evolution in WWE.
Yep.
Right there.
I totally agree.
Because you have a TLC match on a pay-per-view named TLC. You have, arguably, your biggest attraction in Becky Lynch in the main event of the pay-per-view. You have Charlotte Flair, maybe top 10 attraction in WWE right now.
Oh, yeah.
You have
definitely.
Asuka, who is loved by the fans. You have Kairi Sane, who is loved by the fans. This match means shit to them. You don't end the pay-per-view with Asuka and Kairi celebrating. No, you have to end it with a stupid brawl that did not need to happen. It sucked. The ending of the pay-per-view sucked.
Yep.
That is a slap in the face to the women in the back, the women in the ring, who have busted their ass for the last 3 years to make women's wrestling in WWE mean something after they have main evented the Royal Rumble, main evented the WrestleMania, main evented the Survivor Series, and yet took a big dump on their hard work for the last 3 years with this shitty ending.
I couldn't agree more.
Do you want to know how our Facebook group thought of this pay-per-view?
I would love to.
Most of them gave this a D. A couple people gave it an F. One gave it an A, one gave it a B, one gave it a C. The first 3 matches keep this from getting an F. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
And I
it's
think
not an F.
And I think it actually saves it from getting a D.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a C.
I would agree.
I'm going to give it a C.
I would give it a very weak C. Yeah.
But man, it's that ending. You basically, this is what it is. I'm going to say this calmly. I know I got worked up, but I'm going to say it calmly. You basically said to every single woman on that roster, great, you may have ended a pay-per-view, but you know what? We really don't care. We don't give a shit about you. It's about Roman Reigns. It's about King Corbin. Let's focus on that. After you had a 20-plus minute main event.
Yeah.
I thought we were past this.
Oh.
Apparently not. All right, Fro, let's make ourselves happy. Let's talk about what we thought was the best wrestling on TV this week, non-pay-per-view.
Ooh, I think AEW wins it this week for me.
That's a good choice. They had a pretty good.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good show.
Then Impact, then NXT, then Raw, then SmackDown, I think, in that order.
All right. I do want to mention that NXT won the ratings battle for the week.
Yep.
I'm actually trying to find the numbers now.
Pretty much, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a pretty big win. They had 795,000. AEW had 683,000.
Yeah.
I, until Thursday, would have said AEW won. But NWA had a better show this week.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Let me tell you why it had a better show.
Okay.
Number one, they had, they continued the story of the, Marty Scurll coming to NWA, which I thought they did a very good job of. They dove into the NWA title tournament with a qualifying match.
Okay.
It was Ziggy Dice, Sal Rinauro, and C.W. Anderson.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is probably going to be C.W. Anderson winning this match because he was in ECW. Nope. Ziggy Dice with the upset victory. Very nice way. We had the continuation of Aaron Stevens as the national heavyweight champion. Now he wants to be referred to as Shooter Stevens.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. That's pretty cool. Cabana comes out, questions the victory. Thunder Rosa comes out. Melina is dressed in a holiday outfit. Ashley Vox comes back for revenge. We find out that Ken Anderson's going to face Eli Drake in a no disqualification match tonight. And we find out about the TV title tournament. Each match in the tournament, with probably the exception of the finals, is going to have a time limit of 6 minutes, 5 seconds. Because they pop up at 6:05. I thought that was really cool. The big story of this episode is the Dawsons are going to reveal why they did, why they were in the corner of the wild cards. First time they do it, the wild cards come out and they try to beat them up with chairs. Second time the Dawsons try, the wild cards just come out, they have a fight, which leads to a tag match. Wild cards pretty much beat them up. We find out the name of the next pay-per-view is Hard Times, which we mentioned earlier has already sold out. Then we get to the announcement of the competitors in the TV title tournament. So we already know Ziggy Dice is in because he won the qualifying match. Here are the other competitors. Ricky Starks, Caleb Conley, Colt Cabana, Trevor Murdoch, Thomas Lattimore, The Question Mark, Eddie Kingston, Tim Storm, The Dawsons, and Nick Aldis. Yes,
Ooh.
The world champ is in the tournament.
Nice.
So we have a couple of drawings to determine the first series of matches. The first match is Ricky Starks against Eddie Kingston. The other match is Colt Cabana against The Question Mark. Those matches will take place on the next episode. Nick Aldis gets interviewed, and Camille gets brought up accidentally. And Nick Aldis says that as of this moment, Camille is no longer his insurance policy. So Stu Bennett interviews Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll says he's a free agent. He could go wherever he goes, and he's going for the NWA World Title. Eli Drake gets interviewed, and he plays off the throat situation really good because he talks like this. So, it sort of sells what we're doing. Tim Storm is on commentary for this last match. And the commentators ask him if he wants to see Nick Aldis face Marty Scurll. And Tim gives an honest answer, and he says, yeah, I'd love to see it. I think it would be a great match. So we get to the main event. It's Eli Drake and Ken Anderson. Fun match. Eli Drake gets the win. After the match, Aldis storms out onto the studio. He confronts Tim Storm for what he talked about. They get in the ring. They're about to have a fight. All of a sudden, the wild cards come out, and they beat up Tim Storm. It is a 3-on-1. And then all of a sudden, Camille comes out to this huge pop. She gets into Nick Aldis' face. She's confronting him. She's about ready to kick his ass. And then she spears Tim Storm. And we now have a group in the NWA. It's Nick Aldis, Camille, and the Wild Cards. And Thomas Latimer and Camille are kissing in the middle of the ring. Ooh.
Aww.
But they're bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that. That was my top show of the week for me. But AEW was second. NXT was third. Those would be my top three. Raw was bad this week. Because they were in Des Moines, Iowa. Those fans could not give a crap about the show. Although, we did have a big development. Because Lana and Lashley are getting married.
Totally not kayfabe.
I muted that whole segment. Fro, let me tell you what... Did you see the segment?
Yes.
Okay, for those who didn't see it, Lana pulls out a box with a ring, and she asks Lashley to propose to her. Because I was thinking, okay, Lana's going to propose. It's the 21st century. Okay, I'm okay with it. And Lashley's like, no one's going to tell me what to do except you, Lana. So he gets on his knee. He proposes. She says yes. We have a date for the wedding. It is...
Oh, we do?
December 30th. The last Raw of the year, the last Raw of the decade is going to end in a wedding.
Okay.
And you know there's going to be shenanigans involved.
I'm not angry at that.
Got a little bit of interesting news. I think a lot of people are going to like this piece of news because we are heading into 2020, and the Summer Olympics are around the corner. They're going to be in Tokyo, Japan, this coming summer. Well, the Japanese Olympic Committee announced the people that are going to be torch carriers during the Olympic Games, the run towards the start of the Summer Olympics. 2 of them happen to be professional wrestlers.
Oh.
They are the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada.
Okay.
And Kaiji Muto, the Great Muta.
Oh.
So they will be a part of the relay to carry the Olympic torch to the Summer Olympics in Tokyo this summer.
Nice.
So congratulations to the both of them. All right. Now, Fro, I think for those who don't know, I think everyone knows, this is our final show of the season.
It is.
And
we will be back in January.
Yes.
We promise.
Yes. But
because we have nothing to cover in January, do we? Let's see. Do we have a small little show in January that
we got
we're
some good
going
stuff
to...
coming up in January.
No, we'll have nothing in January. Definitely not the pay-per-view. That's over 2 days.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to talk about 2019 as a whole for professional wrestling. Because when this year began, we came in with a hell of a lot of questions. We had so many questions. What's New Japan going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be a new promotion? What's WWE going to do with the women's evolution? There were so many questions. On New Year's night, or actually the early part of New Year's Day, we find out the birth of AEW. We get the press conference. All the Elite Wrestling started. And they have their first show in May, Double or Nothing. And then we find out they got a TV deal with TNT, which takes place in October. And they become, in less than a year, easily the number 2 promotion in the United States. Because WWE right now is number 1. They will be number 1 for like another couple more years. AEW makes a big statement in 2019 saying, we are for real. We are legit. We're going to take it our way. We're going to do it our pace. And they are facing NXT, which is beloved by wrestling fans. And the Wednesday Night Wars, if you want to call it that, have been fun. They've been fun to watch.
Oh, definitely.
Because we are watching, right now, 2 different shows, and they're alternating the wins. It's not like WCW right now, where, they won every week for over a year and a half, although that could change in 2020. We don't know.
Oh, definitely.
We don't know what's going to happen. With WWE, this was their big year in their mind, because they had to deal with Fox for the 5-year $1 billion contract. They were able to stay with USA for a lot of money. And they had some good pay-per-views during the year. Let's not ignore that. They had some good pay-per-views this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But if you're talking about their weekly shows, Raw and SmackDown, down year. A down year for both brands. It seemed every possible wrong thing they could do, they did. And it didn't look good. Which is a shame, because they got some good talent. But for every wrong thing they did, there was some good. With the biggest probably being Kofi Kingston winning the WWE title at WrestleMania. In a match of the year candidate. There was nobody this year more deserving of the WWE title than Kofi Kingston. He had an unbelievable year. Becky Lynch continued to have an unbelievable year. Her popularity is on fire right now. Ronda Rousey ended on a very good note. Will we see her again in 2020? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Impact. Impact had a comeback year. They made us believe in them again. They aren't in the position that they were at in the beginning of the decade, but they're no longer a laughing joke. They're not a joke anymore. They are slowly becoming a brand that you could watch again and not be insulted. Major League Wrestling had a big year. They had the breakout star of the year, in my opinion, in Jacob Fatu. And they look really good going into the new year. Let's talk about the NWA. They probably had the biggest bounce back of any promotion this year. They went, and again, I will use Nick Aldis's line. They went from being a punchline to a headline. And they have the right guy representing the company in Nick Aldis, who will end the year with the NWA title going the full calendar year. That's very hard to do in this day and age. New Japan had a quiet year. But just because they had a quiet year doesn't mean they didn't have a good year.
Oh, no.
They got some...
I think they had their best wrestling pay-per-view of the year early in January. And I'm super excited, all the jokes aside, to see what they will do now with 2 days instead of 1 day.
Yeah.
If it will it feel too much? Will the fans go, oh, we don't need 2 days?
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it will be a very interesting 2020.
And they've got the talent.
Oh, definitely.
Ring of Honor, after hitting the highest of highs, performing in Madison Square Garden, went to the lowest of lows.
I think Ring of Honor had the worst year of all wrestling promotions.
Right. I agree with that.
Would you agree to that?
I agree with that. However,
and I do think they deserve it as well.
However, I think with what we saw at Final Battle, the light could be starting to come in a good way. I think competition-wise, in-ring-wise, it's still going to be good.
Right, but I need to see some change of direction in who is leading this. That is my biggest problem. You can always say, like, okay, I'm going to use an extremely, extremely controversial thing now. Like, if Hitler was a wrestling promoter, and we love these wrestling promotions, that doesn't make Hitler better.
Right.
It just makes the wrestling good. And I'm not saying that Ring of Honor and Hitler is the same.
No,
I'm just
they're
saying
definitely not.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you can't. You in this case we have to judge the book by its cover, and to be honest, Ring of Honor has done so many freaking mistakes this year that it can't be overruled by having a good pay-per-view.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think you guys know I'm one of the biggest Ring of Honor fans, but I can't support their actions.
Right.
I think the environment's going to have to change somehow.
Yep.
I don't know how or what is going to be done, but it is going to have to change. It will. Otherwise, we're going to hear a lot more bad stuff in 2020 from Ring of Honor.
I have a sneaking suspicion that they will have a shit year if they don't do anything very drastic in the beginning of the year. They have to come up with something to show us that they're not only a good wrestling promotion, wrestling-wise. I have absolutely nothing to say bad about them. But they have to show us some understanding of what they have done wrong.
Otherwise, they're going to lose a lot more fans.
Yep.
I think, for the most part, overall, 2019 was an enjoyable ride. We had a lot of hills to go over.
Mm-hmm.
I think the questions that we had at the beginning of the year definitely got answered. And we're now going into a new decade with, I think, a lot of promise. I really do. And if you want to take a look at the decade as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
while it might not have been the best decade for professional wrestling as far as mainstream popularity and big names, I think wrestling as a whole is in a better position than it was at the beginning of the decade, because the technology has gotten better, streaming services came, wrestling fans are exploring new talent, they're exploring new promotions, and podcasts. You know, we've talked about podcasts in the past, but podcasts have become now a big part of professional wrestling. And it's going to be that way for a long, long time. Just like YouTube was in the previous decade, a big part of professional wrestling that has now become part of the business. Because in the 2000s, you couldn't watch pro wrestling without YouTube. Now, as we're ending the 2010s, you can't do pro wrestling without a podcast. You can't listen to pro wrestling without a podcast. So,
right.
And who knows what we're going to get in the 2020s? You know, it's a wonderful, fun time, I think, to be a professional wrestling fan.
It's a wonderful time of the year.
And I want to say one thing before we wrap it up and we do our plugs and everything. To you wrestling fans out there, actually two things I want to say. To the wrestling fans in general, we should be watching professional wrestling as what we are, and that is fans. We're not critics, we're not Dave Meltzer, we're not CBS Sports, we're not ESPN. When we give our thoughts, when we give our opinions of the pay-per-views and all this stuff, we do it because we're fans.
Mm-hmm.
If the current wrestling fan can take out of their mindset of, oh, this is a 3-star match, this is a 2-star match, this is the greatest, 17-star match. Let's just watch it as fans. Let's just watch professional wrestling as fans. That's what we grew up as, are fans. Let's not be a socialist, a liberal, right wing, left wing, whatever. Let's just watch it because we're fans. That's how we should watch it. As fans and only fans. And to you all listening to this podcast throughout this whole year, and basically for the almost 8.5 years that this show's been on, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because without you guys, this show, I don't know where this show would be. We're heard all over the world. And to me, that still amazes me to this day. That in 2019, this little show is being heard around the world. I mean, I remember someone put up on a Facebook group once, when did you know your podcast made it, or you made it? My answer was, when I found out that people from around the world were listening to this. That's when I knew I'd made it. We'd made it. And that's the...
And I want personally to thank AEW, because if it wasn't for AEW, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I was so tired of wrestling. I had quit podcasting about wrestling, and I was like, I have given WWE up. I saw absolutely no reason of talking about something I hated, and I want to thank AEW for renewing my faith in wrestling.
And also, I want to thank W2M Network for, having us be on their network. It's a small...
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a small, independent group of podcasts. It's not Conrad. It's not WWE. I look at it as they're independent, we're independent, we're all independent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into our plugs. If you have any questions or comments, send an email, wrestlingman@thatwrestlingshow.com. Follow the show on Twitter at WrestlingShow11. Join the Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. You type that in the search bar. Add yourself. You're good to go. Visit the website, thatwrestlingshow.com. Visit the Patreon site, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts. Fro, what did you discuss on Another Digital Citizen this week?
Well, we are starting the wrap-up of the year as well. We did our least favorite and favorite movies of the year. Next week, we will do our favorite TV shows and least favorite TV shows of the week. But I have an exclusive little secret for you,
Ooh,
Bill.
Okay.
There will be a bonus episode already tomorrow.
Ooh. All right. Very good.
You heard? Yeah, you heard it here.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some podcasts you guys should check out. Our Vantage Point.
Oh.
Retro. Oh, yeah? You got something?
Oh, yeah. I want to say that, there's a very good podcast about South Park. Have you heard it?
I have, and I was going to save it for a little later, but we could do it now.
Oh,
we did a special episode that Fro promised at the beginning of season 23, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll join you. We ranked all 23 seasons of South Park from worst to best. You might find some of our choices controversial. You might find some that you agree with. But overall, it was a lot of fun to do. I hope you guys enjoy it. And there will be, starting in January, new episodes of Shark's Pod, a South Park podcast. So, our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with our friends, Joe Murata. Joe Murata. I got your name right, Joe. I got it. Yay! And Michael Quinn. They take you through the retro world of professional wrestling as only they can. This week, they give an homage to the mid-card. This week, they discuss the Big Boss Man. Plus, they go through week 4 of the Royal Flush of the worst theme songs ever. And they review the Brawl to End It All from 1984. Yep, a long time ago, folks. It happened. Also, I want to mention, because, we're friends. Fro doesn't really talk to them, but I talk to Joe and Michael. And, they plug our show time to time. If you sign up for their Patreon page right now for the $5 tier, you can listen to, right now, their review of the 1988 Survivor Series. I know a lot of us are going to be on winter break. What a good way to, rest up and listen to their review of the Survivor Series from 1988. I have not heard it yet. I will during my break. It'll be fun to check out our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. Also check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with former independent referee Mike Crockett, along with owner of Chaotic Wrestling Brian Fury, and Ring of Honor star Brian Malonis as they take you through the world of professional wrestling in their own way. This week, they interview Brian Malonis' trainer, Dukes Dalton, who was a wrestler, a popular wrestler in the Northeast. So check out that interview, the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. And if you like your podcasts hosted by one individual, may I recommend Greetings from Allentown with your host, PW, Peter Winson. He watches one episode of professional wrestling each week in his own unique way. This week, he discusses an episode of Monday Night Raw that took place the day after WrestleMania 9. So you're going to want to check that out. Now, for you if you're looking for anything non-wrestling related, let me give you the Best Pick Movie podcast. 3 movie fans, they watch each and every Academy Award-winning movie in no particular order, and they answer the question, did the Academy get it right? This week, they discuss the Best Picture winner from 1975, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh,
I have the list in front of me of the nominees for Best Picture that year.
Okay.
So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest obviously won.
Right.
There was also Barry Lyndon, Dog Day Afternoon,
good one.
Jaws, Nashville.
Yeah, I have a kind of I
This is a
both
tough one.
like. Yeah, I both like and hate Jaws. I think they made the right decision, to be honest.
I do like Jaws as well. But
Yeah.
I have to agree with you. I think they did make the right choice. I think One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is the better movie of the two. So, that gets my vote. And also check out Unspooled with Paul and Amy. They watch each movie on AFI's list of the 100 greatest movies of all time, the 2007 edition. This week, they discuss, because, there's a certain space movie that came out this week. Have you heard about this?
No.
Oh,
no.
well, they're going to discuss Star Wars this week.
Star
Wars. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Also, this weekend, for Eliminated.
Yeah, sorry. Did you see how bad reviews it got?
I've read mixed, actually. I've read some that like it, but
okay.
Anyway, Eliminated, a Royal Rumble podcast. We're going to be spinning the wheel a few more times to pick our next set of episodes, which will go into 2020. So you'll want to check that out. And also, I'm going to give you guys a little teaser here. Check out the podcast probably Monday, because on Monday, I'm going to announce the nominees for the 5th annual That Wrestling Awards, because we happen to get enough votes. I'm going to delay the voting a little bit, but probably Monday is when...
Yeah, I voted, so please vote.
Monday's probably going to be when you find out the nominees.
Yeah, please vote, because I voted.
Alright, so...
nominated.
You nominated, yeah.
I mean...
That's okay. So in 2 weeks, when we come back, January the 3rd, we're going to preview Wrestle Kingdom 14, both nights 1 and 2. We're going to give our picks as to who will win those matches. Plus,
the audience. I think the audience will win.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we'll discuss the the Lana Lashley wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, we will have our first Royal Rumble report in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, on that note, everybody have a fun break. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, a Happy Festivus for the rest of us. And until next year, for Fro, I am Bill. You've been listening to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And until next year,
Wrestle on!
wrestle on!
Gotta clean up here before I lock up the studio for the year. Fro makes all this mess here. Jeez, Fro. Oh, Fro, why you gotta make a mess? Hello, what's this? CD. Let me see what I do with it. Okay. Putting it to the TV. Oh, it's songs. Oh, okay. Let's play this one. Get a little cleaning music here. Oh yeah, this is good. Gloria, you're always on the run now, running after somebody. You gotta get him somehow. I think you gotta slow down before you start to blow it. I think you're heading for a breakdown, so be careful not to show it. You really don't remember? Was it something that he said? All the voices in your head are calling Gloria, Gloria. Don't you think you're falling? If everybody wants you, why isn't anybody calling? You don't have to answer. Leave them hanging on the line. Oh, calling Gloria, Gloria. I think they got your number. I think they got the alias that you've been living under, but you really don't remember. Was it something that they said? All the voices in your head calling Gloria, Gloria. Fro's got good taste. He really does. Gloria. How's it gonna go down? Will you meet him on the main line? Or will you catch him on the rebound? Will you marry for the money? Take a lover in the afternoon. Feel your innocence slipping away. Don't you believe it's coming back soon? And you really don't remember? Was it something that he said? All the voices in your head are calling Gloria, Gloria. Don't need to get your number. I think they got your alias that you've been living under, but you really don't remember all the something that he said, all the voices in your head, calling Gloria, Gloria. Huh. That's pretty fun. Let's see what else Fro has. Oh, Fro. Really? Oh, alright, Fro. Gotta do this. Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark. Mommy shark doo 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 doo, mommy shark doo 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 doo, mommy shark doo 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 doo, mommy shark. Daddy shark doo 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 doo, daddy shark doo 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 doo, daddy shark doo 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 doo, daddy shark. Grandma shark doo 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 doo. Wait a minute. What the hell am I doing singing a kid's song? Oh, Fro, I worry about you. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.